Our next speaker is Boyd Fraser. Boyd has a very long and strong political pedigree, as you can tell from the name Fraser. Goes beyond, way beyond Malcolm, past Malcolm, further back than Malcolm. He's a cyclist who understands the important role that our political leaders and senior bureaucrats play in the provision of bicycle facilities and cycling safety. He believes that cycling advocates must communicate with these people if they want to facilitate change and improvement. Boyd's going to tell us about his lobbying activities and what he's trying to achieve. Go for it.
Thank you, Nick. If you don't mind, I'll sit down because I've got this paper. Yep. Okay. Now, this is going to be a bit controversial, so you'll have to excuse me there. So thank you, Nick. I congratulate what you and the organisation is doing. I put a bit of humour in there. That's supposed to be the idea. Pedigree. Apparently there's a dog food referred to as pedigree, so I was wondering what breed I'd be. Probably several breeds. Now, in sort of trying to underline or emphasise the main theme of what I'm talking about, I'm going to talk about 4 cyclists that have lost their lives. Carolyn Rawlins, whose wheels were caught in the tram tracks in Swanston Street. She fell to the road surface and was killed underneath the wheels of a tour bus. The council had been advised of the risks of the tour buses. They failed to do anything. She lost her life. I understand the tour buses are coming back into Swanston Street and this is an issue that should be dealt with. James Cross and John Cornish lost their lives in Doring incidents. Now that's tragic enough. This is, with the Doring incidents, we had this huge campaign for demerit points and we were unsuccessful. Then we were also campaigning around a minimum passing distance. And on both of those issues, we lost. But we shouldn't have lost, and we'll still be fighting for those, and we desperately need them. The other person who's lost his life is a middle-aged, much-loved cyclist who I didn't know, but the most competitive cyclist known. There's a gentleman called Doug Carley. Now, he was run over by an 85-year-old motorist whilst he was training outside Ballarat, who apparently ran over him. Now, notwithstanding the fact that we have a rapidly ageing society, so there are going to be more and more elderly drivers on the road, we don't appear to be doing anything in this regard. So this is something that should be addressed. I think I note in other states of Australia there are mandatory medicals for people, I think, above 75 years of age, and I think we should have that here. But this is an issue that doesn't appear to be dealt with. So the other thing that I think that we all feel, or we've experienced as cyclists, is this antipathy or resentment that many motorists feel towards cyclists. I don't think this issue has been dealt with. I don't think the rights of cyclists are being defended by all the relevant bodies, including the government, VicPol, TAC and VicRoads, and they should be, because every time cyclists need to know that somebody's going to be fighting for them actively. This one is the attitude to Doring. Now, in the case of James Cross, the driver concerned in that incident wasn't charged. James Cross lost his life. He didn't do anything wrong. He was riding legally. So the attitude of Victorian police is inconclusive in this issue. I could go out into the streets of Bridge Road this afternoon, kill someone accidentally, and it's quite likely that I wouldn't be charged. Now, I don't think that's appropriate, and I think it sends a very poor message to motorists that if you kill or seriously hurt a cyclist in a Doring accident, it shouldn't be regarded as something like falling on a banana peel. It's serious, and there should be fines, and demerit points should apply. So the question is, why have we all been so successful in this regard? I blame myself. I blame all the cycling organisations. I blame VicRoads, VicPol, Bicycle Network Victoria, the government, the AGF. We've all failed in this regard. We're not protecting cyclists. Many cyclists don't ride because they're fearful to do so, which is understandable, particularly women who are far more sensible than men. Now, what is it? What is the reason for all of this? Now, it's my contention, and this was I was told I was correct, speaking to a senior advisor for one of the ministers yesterday, who I won't mention because it would embarrass her, is that we've failed to engage with politicians big time, because it's the politicians that set the priorities, it's the politicians that agree to the budgets. They set the direction, not the public servants. And we've failed to do that as individuals and cycling advocates, and we have to change. And in that regard, we'll look at the audience here. Now, in this entire audience, there is only one politician, and that is the Shadow Minister for Roads, Traffic and Road Safety, Luke Donnellan, who is seated at the rear of this audience. Now, this is an indictment upon us that the only politician that is here is Luke. There are no other politicians here at all, no one. And we're talking to the converted. Everybody here is converted. We're all convinced. But Luke is the only politician who has taken the time to come here, which is wonderful upon him. Now, the other thing that Luke has done, my current obsession, which hopefully you'll all agree to or understand, is tinting. Tinting. So increasingly, we can't make eye contact when we're in the road space. So it's two issues. We can't make contact with many motorists because of the tinting, and in conditions of poor light, they can't see us or other vulnerable road users. So this disaster, this abomination, occurred because of a minister's decision in 1998. Contrary to the advice of Bob Gardner from Vic Roads, which was not to reduce the visual light transmission of frontside windows from 70 to 35%, the minister at the time, I won't mention his name, he's still alive, one that still calls himself the Honourable, he reduced the visual light transmission of frontside windows from 70% down to 35%, as per the rear side windows and the rear window. Now, that's meant a boon for the tinting industry, a nightmare for Victorian police because they now can't see people often that are using smartphones. So what we are fighting for now is a return to the former figure of 70% visual light transmission for frontside windows. That will mean effectively that there will be no aftermarket tinting of frontside windows. And once again, we may be able to make eye contact with the people that we share the road space with. The police will be able to identify the tens of thousands of drivers who seem to spend half their time looking at smartphones and not looking at other people in the road space. So this is an issue that we want to win. The other thing, of course, this is the advice from Bob Gardner, his clear advice. We have the letter from the Roads Minister to the lobbying company, Gavin Anderson, confirming to them that the change in the visual light transmission, which the Window Tinting Association so desperately wanted, had in fact been done. So public policy is being corrupted by private sector lobbyists and interests to the cost of road safety. And this is an appalling outcome, so I hope you will all join with us and all the other people that we've engaged to fight for a return to the previous standards of frontside windows. Thank you very much.